Yes, we're live. It's Business Express 91 live with Rotus.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Send us messages on WhatsApp to be part of the conversation 0809 Twitter is at Smooth91FM. The hashtag is Business Express 91. And we're streaming live on YouTube.
Thank you. I want to welcome Ugo Dre of Nairametrics with us. Ugo Dre, good morning to you, sir.
Morning, Rotus. I'm
Yes,
trying
sir.
to figure out
Exactly.
what mood I'm in. I'm not really sure about. Let's see.
When it rains, it pours.
And it literally rained yesterday, causing traffic. Lagos, the same conversation continues, though, but at least now we are hearing that there could be possible solutions to what's going on. So, Ugo, yesterday there was a consultative roundtable in Abuja held by the Central Bank of Nigeria. For the first time, we heard from the Central Bank governor about, we got his reactions to the oil price slide. Aliko Dangote was there, Jim Ovia of Zenith Bank was there, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, was there, Minister of Works, Bayotunde Rajfashola, was there, Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, and Governor Mefele said that in the coming days, there will be a response in terms of a response to the oil price slide, coronavirus, from the central bank. I wanted to get your thoughts on the roundtable and what you think, whatever solutions you think can come from the. Why are you looking at me like that? What do you think can come from the solutions? You think can come from the central
Rotus
bank?
likes to just set people up.
No,
Like,
I'm not setting you up now. It don't happen yesterday. It made the news now. It's everywhere. It's a business day, this, there. So even in Nairametrics, you guys even have the headline when Dangote was saying that, look, diversification may not happen in a few years if we don't hurry up. So there was a lot to talk about. You know?
Well, I watched a bit of the session yesterday. Interesting session. He was able to pull in a lot of the guys who basically shape this economy. Just interesting that there wasn't a lot of young people in there, especially in startups. So I guess this is for the big timers. Interesting discussion. Nothing new was said there that we didn't know, except I guess talking point for me was Kiari saying that Nigeria's cost for oil is about $30. So I think I always thought it was about 27, 25, but so he made it clear that it was $30. So we're basically just hanging, by a thread. Aside from that, another major talking point for me was hand sanitizers.
Oh, yes.
Val, please, we don't want to see you with foreign hand sanitizers. Okay.
Help out Lagos, please.
Because
Explain to Lagos.
what had happened is that the founder of Emzo Pharmaceuticals was very bitter. She was very upset that right there, where you had the captains of industry, where you had the defender of locally made goods in Nigeria, the only person who would ban all imports of things and not give them dollars to import so that we can continue to defend made in Nigerian goods. That guy right there in his auditorium had Chinese made sanitizers.
Travesty.
It is upsetting.
Travesty.
It was a big issue. And she made it really stick. She got up and gave a very dispassionate speech. How come in this CBN auditorium do we have made in China sanitizers? But actually felt really bad. Like sanitizers, and then the Almighty got up. CBN governor said, I take responsibility. You didn't see that, Val.
I forgot to say what it was there.
Full responsibility for what has just happened. I will make sure we correct this. So maybe from next week,
maybe they
you'll add it to that famous list of ours that we've been keeping for the last few
They should
years.
start by giving loans to local businesses.
Well, loans. Where's the money? But Fashola also chimed in, saying that what's the alcohol content in Ogogoro is a lot.
Oh
of
yeah.
use
Maybe
that
we should
for-
start to export the Gogoro as well, or
that's what he
something,
said
or
too.
maybe like start to bottle it, and for some of us who like single malt whiskeys, so maybe we just have It's just that they should find a better name for it, though. Maybe not Google, but
Well, that's a good point. So
it was an interesting session, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
interesting.
no-
Jimovia was also
Yes.
spoke a bit about banks. A bit confusing sometimes. At some point, he said that
They have competitive
the
advantage.
banks are the biggest, than they were before. Yes, but then he also sort of flipped it and said, look, in as much as they are the biggest, in terms of competitiveness, right? They're still not where he expects them to be. I was wondering, was he looking for a bailout of some sort, for like or some kind of help, of some sort? I'm really not sure. And Aliko came on and spoke a lot about diversification
Yes.
and
How we're running out of time.
yeah, running out of time and all that. Interesting thing was how Amechi took on the NNPC, not using their own. Was it their what's that thing called again? Where the ships usually dock?
Ports.
Ports or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
for cargoes. Anyway, all in all, nothing really out of it. They didn't say anything about devaluation. They basically just
avoided
that
that.
deval, they avoided it completely, avoided the forex market completely, while the international markets was roiling yesterday.
Prices continue to be, oil price continues to be still. Even fell. It fell
Yeah,
to 35 now.
it's very volatile right now, and people are making a lot of money out of it. By the way, traders make money from volatility.
Well, so we'll wait and see what the solutions are, because
You expect to see solutions?
well, what do we do now? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like the minister said there were going to be solutions, but they were not. There was nothing on the table. So I was thinking, what could those solutions be? Are they going to be tax cuts? We're not US now. Those are the kind of words you hear in the
Exactly.
US. Tax cuts. We give tax cuts. We give stimulus. Where is the stimulus coming from? We're the one actually stimulating the government right now because we're the ones lending government money. So we are giving the government stimulus. So the
Right.
government can't give us stimulus. So
Right.
where is that solution going to come from? Are we going to start exporting you?
Right.
Or like who are we going to start exporting? Because we have more people than agricultural products to export.
Right.
So what exactly are we going to do, Rotus? I don't know. I'm thinking like, what are they going to do to
Yeah.
change the situation? I mean, this oil price thing it's going there, and unfortunately for us, we can't seem to export more than that. 2.2
million
million
barrels,
barrels
yeah.
because our oil is actually quite good. We do Bonny Light, so and the price is usually higher than Brent. So, but I mean, we're not the Saudis. We can't do like 10, 12. So in this oil price war, we're just the grass.
Right, as the elephants are fighting. Well, we'll see, Ugo Dre. Thanks for that. Let's see. Someone wants us to talk about the GTB Holdco situation. I think this is from Adiola. Adiola and Onikoi. Basically, I think there was an earnings call. GTB had an earnings call. I think about what was it now? A few days ago, and they mentioned that they're possibly going to go into Holdco, and of course, other banks have done this. First Bank, Stanbic. So Ugo, it's no real surprise there, right? With them
Yeah,
wanting
no
to
real
do that.
surprise. I mean, I think that it makes a lot of sense for some banks to go into Holdco at this time because you're seeing a lot more global banks. Banks also want to be able to do a lot more things, and when you have that single license, then it sort of restricts what you can do and what you can invest in. So imagine if you, in this new era where you have a lot of fintech wars, you have quasi banks or neo banks coming into the space. There's also opportunity in the insurance space as well. So banks are not be able to play in a lot of things, asset management, pension funds. I mean, think about it. GT is nowhere in the pension funds
Right.
market. I mean, which you have the likes of FCMB, even UBA, First Bank. They're solid in that space.
Right.
So the two biggest banks. That's the irony is that the two biggest banks in Nigeria today are not holdcos.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
All right. Yinka is Yinka is praying for me. He said that Lagos is okay. Yeah, who got this message about Lagos experiencing 240 days of rain? Strange thing he says is even Noah's time was just 40 days. That messed the whole world up. Are we sure these Nigerian meteorological guys know what they are predicting? Yinka, we will see. But then there's the whole climate change matter. So we'll see how we handle things. Yesterday was pretty heavy as far as rain is concerned. Okay, Ugo Dre, we haven't talked about. Can we delve into fixed income and the stock market? Which one do you want to take first? Another nasty drop in the markets, or
Yeah, and
also?
I don't think we've bottomed out yet.
So you
It's
think
no, we don't. You think we've bottomed out
okay,
already?
exactly? You never
I
know,
don't
right?
think we can't. We've not bottomed out. At this rate, nobody knows what's gonna happen. Like it's just incredible. Like you're seeing stocks like Zenith at 11 naira. Like how? Oh my god!
GT's
Like
at 19
GT
now.
19. So I mean, in as much as they've marked Zenith down, right? But the dividend yield based on this price is over 20%. GT Bank already dividend yield based. They haven't marked them down yet, but
Yeah.
dividend yield is about 14 freaking percent. Rotus, like it's just incredible. So and then there's no end in sight. So if you come in this morning, now you're probably gonna see a lot of stocks on offer. I was discussing with somebody yesterday, a friend of ours, and we're like, what do we do? Like, do we, do we take positions?
Right.
People are also moving into that forex space. I don't want to talk about it like that, but people are moving in that space, But what do you want to do? Do you want to like, buy that deep?
Right.
But then
Only
how
for it to
low can
dip
it
more.
go?
Only for it to- you said
Nobody
it last
knows.
week
Yeah,
now.
that's the thing. Like you're not just sure
Yeah.
where this is going, how this is going to end. And then you say you want to buy euro bonds as well. So euro bonds is not bad. I mean, you can do euro bonds. Euro bonds, the yields are high. But then you look at oil price and you're saying, is there going to be a first time for Nigeria?
Right.
Is there going to be a time where Nigeria is somehow unable to pay its bonds or its debt obligations, Eurobond obligations? What if that happens?
Right.
What's going to happen to your Eurobond?
Exactly.
Nobody's going to want to buy it. And the thing with Eurobonds is not just the yield alone, it's also the price of the asset. So you buy into these bonds not just so that you can eat the yield, but because you want the asset to also appreciate at some point and you can exit. So, but what if we just can't pay? So there's a lot of stuff that's just, and then you don't go to treasury bills. Where
Yes, there's
typically
another option
you
again.
just fly to safety and just go and pack all your things
money.
there and then chill. And treasury bills 2.4%. We stand at 2.49%, 91 days, 360 days, 5.3%. What that means is that you are paying the CBN to keep your money for you because that's like net 8% or so,
negative
7% negative return. So you're basically just giving the almighty Emefiele the money to keep for you.
What an environment.
In as much as he says he's giving you 5%, you actually paying him because I mean, like inflation rate is 12%.
So there's almost nowhere for funds to go.
That's the thing. Right? What do you do? I mean, like, what do you want to go into forex? I heard black market rate is going up, but I mean, like, at some point, but you know one thing I fear as well.
Yeah.
The thing I fear with the forex thing is that at some point, like, even if you have that forex, there's probably nobody to buy it off you, like, because nobody has money like that. So it's
one heck of a week, or it's
week, like
a month rather, or even
it is. Nobody knows how this is gonna pan out. An interesting thing is that Mufili also said something yesterday. He kind of smoothed that. He didn't know that a lot of people weren't going into the Omo window.
I read that comment. I was like, hey. Okay. So there's something interesting that I saw with Algeria. Maybe I was thinking this is possibly an option for us. So 85% of their of oil and gas makes up 85% of Algeria's exports. And so they made an announcement that, quote, Algeria will crack down on tax and customs evasion, scrap plans for external borrowing, and cut food imports as the country rushes to contain the effects of the oil price collapse. So
that is the Emefiele playbook,
right? So I mean, if you are looking for options as to how to react to this thing,
but that's what Nigeria has been doing. So I mean, like, you've cut. What else do you want to cut? I mean, like, you've gone through all this. I mean, so what are you going to do? You're probably going to ban a lot more things. Is that what you're going to do? Perhaps, like somebody was saying, maybe they start to restrict, inflow and outflow of dollars out of the country. Put more things on the import list, things that you can import. Maybe relax on duties or charges on exports. I don't know, but I think we have a lot of all these things already on the table, and that's what we're doing. What you likely see is the government cutting down on its budgetary expenditure for 2020. That is inevitable. So a lot of the capex needs that we want, you're not going to see it happen. One interesting thing yesterday though was the gist around infrastructure development from NSIA, yes. And the Minister of Transport and Minister of Works and
yes.
So perhaps maybe we'll see a lot more private sector involvement in funding of infrastructure project.
Mm.
If that works really well, then maybe that can save government, because I don't see how this government would fund infrastructure, their infrastructure plans
Right.
this year. Going to be
wow.
extremely difficult. So
Well,
back to the stock market.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Any
man.
picks?
Yeah, I mean there are loads of them. Nestle is looking
Yes, at
juicy
1,005,
at
I think, yeah.
900 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
900
no,
plus.
no. Sorry, 900. Excuse
900
me. When I
plus.
say
MTN
1,005,
is
yeah.
looking also attractive, back nearly back to his IPO price. Even though I really don't like dividend yield, it's just my MTN is just pocketing all those returns and equity.
Share the
They don't pay-
dividend.
I mean,
Share
like pay
it.
that dividend. So
Share it.
MTN is also quite cheap right now. Then you go to the banking space, Zenith, UBA, GT.
So there's some
Very
options.
very juicy stocks at the moment. It just depends on how well you can place your bet in this country. One thing that I've told a lot of people who have asked me is that, look, a lot of what will happen to stocks in terms of their upsides will depend on their Q1 results. So people will be waiting to see the impact of a lot of this CBN policies, especially the policies on LDR and co on their Q1 results, and we don't get to see that until later in April. So if you're the very strong-hearted and you want to just take that risk and just go and just buy some of those stocks. I mean, like, if it doesn't go down, then you know the way to go is up.
Exactly. But we do expect. I mean, what are you expecting? I think compared to Q1 last year, or even Q4, expecting a pullback. Yeah, with some of the
yeah, I mean,
bank results.
Would Zenith do another 200 billion in profit this year? I
right.
don't know, man. I don't even know where they got that 200 billion of last
like
year.
your
200
non-interest income
billion
now.
profit
Right,
in this
massive.
year, like
Yeah.
incredible. So are they going to do it again this year? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. It's news here that Governor Obaseki wants to raise capital from the stock exchange to finance state projects. Considering where the market is right now, it's a good time for any. And we've wanted this though. We've been talking about to add depth to the market for states to go in there to raise funds, but with where things are now, I think Governor.
I mean, he has connect. He has friends in the market, so a lot of his guys can help mobilize that fund. There are a lot of mutual funds out there with cash, and then there are also pension funds who, by law, are required to invest in infrastructure development, so related projects. So I think it's something he can mop up. He knows this market more than anybody else, so I'm sure he has his game on. Something would I want to invest in it? I don't know. I don't know what he wants. I don't know what project this is tied to.
Right.
And the things of politicians, you're not even sure whether his people are the people in his government are going to end up cannibalizing the money or not. But I like it on it's a bond, so and it's backed by the sovereign. But I think that he can raise that kind of money. Yeah. He has what it takes.
So Ugo, finally looking at the week, are we expecting more bearish conditions? Are we
It's gonna get worse, Richard. We woke up this morning to find out that the American government just banned travel to Europe. So markets are not going to take that lightly at all.
Right.
Officially, the US market is in bearish mode.
Right.
First time since 2008. Just so that you can know how long this run of bullish bull run has been. So it's reversed. It's losses this year already. Europe is in turmoil as well. Asia, same thing. Oil price, nobody knows where this is going to end. It's a race to the bottom. The US government is now saying that they're going to start buying the dip as well. So what are they trying to do? They are also trying to mop up oil from the global markets and then keep it in their strategic reserves, just so that they can keep prices at a certain level. So this is a all-out price war, and the US is also thinking, from what I hear, of maybe bailing out some of the shale oil producers. So nobody knows how this is going to pan out. So and investors are seeing these things and like, man, like, what the hell is going on? I heard Warren Buffett said something yesterday. He said he's lived 89 years and he's seen all sorts of market turmoil, but he had to live 89 years to see this happen because he's never seen this happen before. And there's the oil price war going on. There's coronavirus. People are really, really worried about it. It's spreading faster than
Italy has been completely shut down.
Yes, completely shut down.
Country.
The NBA has stopped because an NBA player got
Cause
the
it's
virus. Somebody in
Syria.
Juventus got the virus.
Yes.
So nobody knows where this is headed. The entire New York now. New York is almost on lockdown.
Yeah.
So Roses,
So global recession now, possibly.
it's a black week.
A very black week. Ugo Dre of Nairametrics. Look, Lagos. We have to give you the reality of what's going on. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us your insights there. Everybody, stay tuned though. We will keep watching. Tomorrow Tech. We'll also talk about how things are affecting the world of technology on Tech Friday tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you all. Business Express signing out.
Of the headlines.
This thing lost. What happened to this thing went down?
Business news from Nigerian
Connection. That means.
perspective and help